Good morning, Thursday morning. Good to see you guys. Jump on in. If you're on the replay, let me know that you're on the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from. Do you see how I'm like teaching myself how to do that earlier and earlier in a video? I crack myself up. I know there's that saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, first of all, I'm not old, people. So I can learn new tricks too. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Happy Thursday. So I wanted to jump on today and let's do another session. Good morning, Matt. Good to see you. Another chat about insulin resistance. We do this every day, you guys, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, we do a 1-month challenge. It's 5 days. The next one starts on, hold on, I got to think about this, September, whatever that Monday is. If it's the 9th, it might be the 9th. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but that's when it's starting. It's the 9th or the 12th. And that's 5 days a week at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we do that. This is our 16th one coming up, you guys. So if you have not jumped into the group, I highly recommend it. It's a good place to get resourced and encouraged. And when you get in there, you'll get tagged in a PDF that has some free recipes, free snacks, like pantry ideas, all the things. And let's do it. Let's do it. So good morning. Good morning. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. And if you're on TikTok, and I know it takes like time on TikTok, right? Like I have to be on for a while and stuff, but if you could like it and then share it out, I would be so grateful, because that's what happens with TikTok is it takes a half a minute for everything to, it's the whole algorithm thingamajigger. But this, these are the reasons why I want this information to get out so badly. So yesterday, I went and I had a massage. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Magda. Happy Thursday. Good to see you guys. So I went and I had a massage, and I haven't had one for a really, really long time. But sometimes like when you're working on computers and on your phone, etc., you need to I have to work out my shoulders, like my shoulder blades, my shoulders, my neck, blah blah blah. Right? Okay. So he number one, he did an amazing job. I was absolutely taken aback. I thought for sure that I was going to wake up this morning and feel just like total crap. Because that was 1 hour of no relaxation, but it was so good. Because I needed it, right? I had to work things out. I had that shoulder surgery. Remember, I've talked about that before. And so I needed stuff. But I came home and I was very concerned that I was going to feel bruised or super whatever, inflamed. So last night, you guys, I know you're only supposed to take one turmeric at a time. I took one in the morning, and instead of just taking one later in the day, I took 2 before I went to bed. You guys, I'm a little shook. I am not bruised. That's all I'm going to say. Phenomenal. So if you haven't started on the turmeric, let me know. I'll get you information. But I'm talking to him at the beginning of the massage, and this is what I'm going to lead in with today. So come on, you guys, it just absolutely torques me off that we have these simple answers in our world, and we're not given them. We don't know these things because everything is ran by industry. Everything is freaking ran by industry. It absolutely just boom. Okay. So he's telling me that he was working in a town very close to us, probably about 15 minutes away from where we were. And it was a company called Cargill. Does anybody know what that is? What is their main purpose? Does anybody know? I'm not really sure. Let me look this up here. I have to have this in front of me. Oopsie. Hold on. Touching buttons. Shouldn't be touching buttons. Okay, I'm going to look it up. So he's telling me about working at Cargill. And you guys, right? We make the Maria Emmerich bread, right? We use egg whites all the time. We use egg whites. I buy mine in cartons. Hello. Now, Maria, I see she often, most of the time, I always see her cracking her eggs and separating out her egg whites and her egg yolks. That's very common for her. And, but I have been lazy. Okay. I might not be lazy anymore. Okay. This is what's going on. I have to decide what I'm going to do. Um, okay. So Cargill, oh man, you guys, I've got to be careful. Okay. Introduction to how we nourish the world. Okay. Just remember that. That's their tagline. It's a family company providing food, ingredients, and agricultural solutions and industrial products to nourish the world. All right, so listen to this. So I'm talking to him, and he says to me, both my wife and my son had to have their gallbladders removed this year. Now, I don't remember how old his son was, 10 to 14-ish, I think. Okay, so he's not super little, but still he's not, I mean, he's still living at home. And they both had to have their gallbladders removed. And then he said something like, I know that, our food supply, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I totally resonate with that. Like that, I talk about that a lot. He has no idea that I do any of this chatter about food and stuff like that. He has no idea. And he's just saying, yeah, our food supply, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I worked for Cargill. And 15 minutes away, blah, blah, blah. And we used to do these egg whites and like these big vats of egg whites. And he said, but the thing is that if the pH level wasn't the way it needed to be, they had to add caustic acid. And I thought, that's not good. And I said, I think he questioned, I don't want to get his story wrong, but it sounded to me like he actually posed the question, like, I don't understand. Isn't that bad for us? And why is it not on the label if they have to add it to a batch and they don't have to put it on the label and it balances the pH? And I said, what? I'm thinking, what's happening right now? And he's telling me this. And then he goes, don't ever buy Sunny Fresh. And I go, okay. So I'm putting all of this into my brain because I'm getting a massage. Like he's working on my neck, right? And I'm laying there and I'm going, caustic. I want to remember that name because caustic. And I'm like, Sunny Fresh. Okay, I got to remember that. So I look it up this morning. All right, let's get into this. And then I'm going to tell you why you should have a massage as somebody who is insulin resistant. This is actually very interesting, you guys. Very helpful, very filled with permission. And you should think about it. So Sunny Fresh makes, good morning, Mary, makes K through 12 school egg products. It's a food service company. That's what Sunny Fresh is. They're a food service company. And that's what they've been doing, or that's what they do, or that's what they did. I mean, I can't make claims, right? This is just his story, his little teeny tiny story in the sea of people who have jobs. But I'm like, so now I'm questioning buying egg whites in cartons. And so I don't know, I'm probably gonna have to shift from that, but that means, wow, I already buy 10 dozen eggs at a time. Like, how am I gonna keep up? Maybe what I'll do is only buy egg white protein powder and make all of my bread that way. I don't know. Like, if you guys have thoughts on that, let me know, because that was really alarming. But I'm thinking to myself, OMG. So all of these food supply places that do all of think about the cafeterias in hospitals, cafeterias in schools, cafeterias in colleges, cafeterias, all the food service companies. And you're thinking, oh my stars. Tony, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You missed the thought. Yes. Well, it's a story about my massage therapist and how he was working for Cargill, who is they nourish the world. That's their tagline. And they were making egg whites for this company called Sunny Fresh, who's a food service company for K through 12 food. And they were doing egg whites, batches of egg whites, like probably vats, right? You would assume vats. And they would put caustic acid in the vat that did not have the proper pH level. And he was like, why isn't that bad for you? And why isn't that on the label? He goes, it's never on the label Now that was one particular company. We can't like ditch all of them, I'm sure, right? But I'm like, this is a practice I'm not super excited about. If I'm getting all of my, you wish that I was here, Matt, because you have 70 chickens and you could have fresh eggs every day. Thank you, Matt. I do love my farm fresh eggs so much. Like I really, really do. I asked my chicken lady like 2 days ago and she goes, I don't have 10 dozen for you yet. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll wait. I'll be patient. There's such a difference between farm fresh eggs and store-bought eggs. Huge difference. So anyway, that's my little story for today about my massage therapist. And I'm just like, God, I just hate that we have to question our food supply so much. So I went to then a local meat market, which I so appreciate, because if you can find anything locally, just please do it. Like they smoke their own meat, they do their own whatever. And I bought stuff from them, and it just makes me feel so good to be able to at least know where my food is coming from to the best of my ability. I can't do it all the time. None of us really can, unless we are very, very self-sufficient on our own land. And you can become as self-sufficient as you can, and you can't then stress about the rest. You just make changes when you can. Right? Like I can't like freak out about every little thing, because literally we would spend all day, every day being freaked out. So we're not going to do that. That's not the plan, Stan. So anyway, all right. So why massage is good for insulin resistance. You guys, this is super interesting to me. You know, we've always considered massage to be probably less and less now. I know a lot of people that are in industries where you do have to get massages, like, you know, dental hygienists. Sometimes it's literally paid by the dentist, because they're leaning over you all the time, and it's so hard on their shoulders and their neck, et cetera. So sometimes that's kind of what's happening. But there are many people now who massage is not anymore so much for just, you know, enjoyment. And yesterday was not an enjoyment massage. That was a, oh, wow, snaky. Oh, goodness gracious. I feel that in my shoulder. Wow, look at there. It was more like that. But it was so important, because I have to be able to function, right? I have to be able to move. But this is why, for insulin resistance, this is a positive and maybe something that you should be thinking about. Okay. So number one is the reduce of your stress and your cortisol. I mean, I have so many of you in my inbox on a regular basis telling me about, you already know you have high cortisol. You've either been tested for it. And remember, cortisol is your stress hormone, right? Insulin is basically, I call it your sugar hormone. I mean, I know that's not necessary. I mean, sort of is, but it is to make sure that your body uses sugar for fuel. Like it's your preferred fuel for your body is glucose. So everything you eat turns into glucose, and insulin brings that into the cell. Anyway, so cortisol, you already know, and maybe you've got extra belly fat going on and you're just like, golly, like, let's just get rid of this freaking belly fat, right? Insulin and cortisol. So you can reduce your stress and your cortisol. Well, this is the deal. When you actually do that, you're improving sensitivity. And the last 2 days on the replays of this, whatever you want to call it, this daily segment, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we've been talking about the difference between a GLP-1 medication and or injection that is dealing with tapping on the door of your pancreas and telling your pancreas to release more insulin. The difference between that thought process, which I say boo to, I understand that there are certain, like, this is just for me, right? I'm the one that avoided type 2 in my family. I'm the one who avoided meds in my family. So I am in a different place, and some people have to do certain things. That's fine. Okay. All my disclaimers, but that's not what I'm looking for, because you can exhaust your pancreas. Like after a while it goes, excuse me, no more. And then you're now you have to deal with another issue, as opposed to let's deal with things at a cellular level and go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. Okay. So anytime you can do something that is increasing your insulin sensitivity is like, yay, that's what we want. So reduction of stress and cortisol through a good massage can improve your insulin sensitivity. That's number one. Number two is improving your circulation. Well, I think we all know. Now, my dad's circulation was horrific. And when you are type 2, like he was, and remember, he was insulin dependent, he died at 63, he took a lot of meds, he did all the things. He did all of the procedures, including, quadruple bypass surgery, pacemaker, and kidney dialysis. He did it all, right? So his circulation, this is why Sometimes like a detrimental piece would be like if you ever had to then have a limb removed. That's very, very far down the road. But I'm just saying, like, he was probably, getting closer. The sores on his legs weren't healing anymore, right? Circulation is bad. So improve your circulation, and that actually helps to regulate your blood sugar levels. That is amazing. Anything we can do to regulate our blood sugar levels, like a lot of people know to go take a walk after you eat, etc. It's just helping. It's another piece of helping. Number 3 is the reduction of inflammation. Golly, remember last night I said I took 2 turmeric instead of 1 because I knew. I'm just shocked. I think all day I'm just going to be going like this. Like, why don't I feel bruised? Why do I feel so good? Like, what he did to me, I should not be feeling this good. So reduce your inflammation. Well, it reduces the production. Get this now, listen to this, because I probably can barely pronounce this, but massage reduces the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Now, do not ask me the deep knowledge of that. Remember, I got a C in biology. But it's reducing the production of whatever a cytokine is. I mean, I could look it up here, but basically those are pro-inflammatory. So what if we could like start stopping some of the system? Number 4 is enhancing your muscle production. Your muscle function. Talk about this a lot, you guys. A lot. We talk about it because when we understand how much protein we should be eating on any given day so that we can maintain our lean muscle mass, we do not want to slow down on muscle mass as we get older. We don't want to lose weight at all costs, meaning lose weight and maybe you're losing muscle. We're not looking to do that. We want to lose fat. That's a conversation in and of itself. And enhancing your muscle function, actually, it's managing your insulin resistance better. This helps to stabilize your blood sugars. Okay, so you want to enhance your muscle function. Number 5 is lymphatic drainage. This is huge. So back in July, a couple of girls on my business team, we did a Christmas in July in a different Facebook group, not the Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women group. We did it in a different one. And each night for 3 nights, we had something special. One night, my daughter was teaching how to make sourdough. One night, a girl was teaching lymphatic drainage through gua sha. It was super fascinating because, again, remember when we were talking about toxic load the other day and about how we've got to get rid of our toxic load, like getting your lymph drainage, like through your face, etc., through your sinuses and whatnot, like get it to drain out and be healthier. Well, when you do things that help to drain your lymph nodes, like massage, you're basically reducing the load on your body's immune function and your metabolic system. So is insulin resistance a metabolic disorder or not, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. It's a metabolic situation. So you're reducing the load on your immune system and on your metabolic system, which is a little bit kind of broken a little bit, right? And it's supporting insulin sensitivity. Oh, thank you, Matt. Matt's going to tell me about cytokines. I love this. Cytokines are signaling molecules that are produced by the immune system to promote inflammation and regulate immune responses. He looked it up for me. Thank you, Matt. That's so interesting. So I'm going to repeat that. Cytokines are signaling molecules. God, our bodies are so amazingly made, you guys. It's just phenomenal. Produced by the immune system. So that's why there's a connection with the immune system to promote inflammation and regulate immune responses. So that's, like when you get cut or something and something swells up, think about that. Inflammation comes, it's probably bringing your white blood cells to heal, right? Bringing your red blood cells to do what they need to do. That's so interesting. Thank you for looking that up. Because obviously it's like we already can feel the inflammation in our bodies. I know I can if I'm eating wrong, if I'm eating too much, whatever. Not only do we, we've got bloat going on, and we talk about that a lot too, like with the gut conversation. But inflammation is a different conversation. And I am 100% convinced, and I know I'll never be able to prove this because, my mom is gone now, but in her 50s, she started with hip replacement surgeries. And then she eventually had a knee replacement surgery, like in her early 80s. And that kind of pushed her over the edge. But my parents were not the generation of chiropractors or getting massages. And I just think that she eventually lost flexibility and could have had a completely different universe. And inflammation is such a big deal. And I think that we begin to live like this and we don't question it because we think it's so normal. And I took ibuprofen all the time in my 30s, all the time. Like I just thought that why would it be on the market if there were bad side effects? Like I know I wasn't thinking clearly. Obviously, I wasn't being very wise or smart, but that's just what I did. So if you wake up and you're stiff and you're tight and you have a headache, you just take ibuprofen because you know that you're going to feel so much better. Well, now at 59, obviously that's not my go-to. Turmeric is my go-to. Like I've shifted what I'm doing. But it makes a big, big difference. So anyway, I just thought that was super interesting. So after I got done with my massage yesterday, I'm like, I know I need to drink like a gallon of water. So you can imagine I was drinking my water and then taking my turmeric, etc. But I was so taken aback by his conversation about working for that company, working for Cargill, and what they were doing in processing egg whites in cartons. And you know what? I get a lot of mine at Costco. Where do you guys get your egg whites? I need to make a loaf of bread. I keep saying that, but I need to prioritize making another loaf of egg white bread because I love, 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 love having it on hand. I think that sometimes I feel like if I'm going to make something like that, I need to film it. I need to film it for you guys, but I really don't. I know that. I know that I can just be like, whatever. But if you are, wanting to shift your universe, good morning. Good to see you. If you're wanting to shift your universe of insulin resistance, it's a very frustrating place to be. And when I started to shift everything in my 40s, my dad died when I was 30. I should have done something earlier, but I didn't. But then when I did, I now look back and I realize this actually wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And now in 2024, when I talk to you guys about trading out your food ingredients or supplementation, etc., this is so much easier than it's ever, 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 ever been. Back in the 90s, if I needed something, if you needed anything that was specialty, you had to go to a very specialty store. Like we didn't have Whole Foods on every corner. We didn't have Trader Joe's. We didn't have Amazon. We didn't have all of these things. I know that all of you remember, just like I do, like nothing was available. And now most all of the ingredients that I buy, good morning, Anna. Thank you so much for liking. I'm doing so good today, Anna. I had a massage yesterday. I feel phenomenal. I was talking about how I took my turmeric last night. I took 2 instead of 1. Magical. It was magical for me. So I don't feel bruised or anything today. But anyway, now I can get a lot of my ingredients at Walmart. And I tell people that because I want you to know how readily available everything is. Going from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive is actually not just an option. It's a real deal. And we have so much insulin resistance right now in our country, it's obnoxious. When he told me that his wife and his son, who lives at home, so I don't know his age for sure, they both had their gallbladders removed this year. So when my daughter had gallstone issues, through the research, we found out that high insulin, high estrogen, and high cortisol, all hormones, mixed with digestive, mixed with food, right, were the cause of gallstones. So she basically immediately started with supplementation, which of course that's my jam. That's what I talk about all the time, having been somebody who thought ibuprofen was a supplement. Wow, I've come a long way. But she did supplementation and she changed out her diet. She immediately went keto, immediately, to dump all the inflammation and to stop her insulin from spiking, to stop her sugars from spiking. And Within 2 weeks, all of her episodes were gone, and those were intense. She said she would have rather have had labor. That's how bad they were. She was having 5 to 8 a day. And now she's fine and she knows how to regulate her body. Well, it's the same thing. When I needed to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, I did not think I was going to change out my foods because I'm Italian. So I always show you guys, I think I've got all 3 of them here. I do the trio. I started with supplementation. You guys know I talk about this, and I talk about changing the way that your body is functioning from the inside out, like get your engine functioning, and you can go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. And then we'll do a challenge in September. We'll do a challenge, a 5-day challenge. It's free. It's in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You do not have to sign up for it. It doesn't even cost you anything. It's right in the group. And then I'll take all 5 of those days and I'll pin them to the featured section. It's literally just a way for you to say, okay, I'm going to start a disciplined routine and I'm going to begin the healing process. Oh, you guys, how did I not remember to talk about this? So yesterday I get this message from this guy on my Facebook business page. And he says, oh, Kirsten, I should have looked at I want to get his numbers right. I think I have them right. I think I do. He said, I just want to say thank you. I have gotten, this a guy now, because I know sometimes people, because my Facebook group is for women, that I don't have guy customers, but that's not true. And he goes, I've gone from 223 pounds down to 184 pounds. And I've done it by your recommendation. Taking the trio, taking this, and working on he included intermittent fasting for himself. So intermittent fasting and the trio. And he said, it's taken me over a year, but I'm so happy, or I'm so grateful, or something like that. And thank you. I didn't even know that he's been checking out as a guest. So I didn't even know that he was my customer. And I just thought that is freaking incredible. I just want to say, listen, if you say to yourself right now, I'm going to go on a journey and I'm going to become my own advocate. I'm going to try to get my sugars and my insulin down so I can finally lose weight. I'm going to get my liver functioning. I'm going to deal with my visceral belly fat, all of the things that are hurtful, harmful for you if you don't get them in check. Okay. And I'm willing to just kind of go on this journey. Do you know how few people will follow through for an entire 12 months? Do you know how rare that is? I left him a voice message and I'm like, way to go. Way to go. Because I'm just going to tell you up front, this is a journey. It's a healing journey. Your body has to turn back to its remembrance of how to function. Your body has to be given the raw materials that it's lacking in order to function again. And for him to have done that for over a year and to have that steadfastness, that's kind of what this takes, right? Now, that doesn't mean you can't get amazing results really fast. Of course, that's where all the testimonies come from. You can either look at guide number 4 in the Facebook group, or you can go to the Instagram page, Kirsten Liebelt, and look at the pink highlight bubble at the top of the page. I put his story up in my stories, or I put his testimony up into my stories, and then I dropped it down into the highlight bubble. So it's there. It's the last one that I just posted. And I'm just like, I don't sometimes, I don't take credit. You guys are doing your own work. When you guys send me your sugar numbers that have gone down in the mornings, when you guys send me your weight loss amounts, when you guys send me the meds that you have worked with your doctor to get off of, you are doing the work. You're doing the work. I'm just bringing some information and some education, and you're on my journey with me as I'm learning something, right? As I'm realizing how can I be as simplistic as humanly possible, because that's what I want for myself. Path of least resistance. That was my middle name. Path of least resistance. It's why I started with supplements. What's the easiest thing I could possibly do to deal with the fact that my dad died of type 2 diabetes at 63. Yeah, and I was 30. What can I do that doesn't require anything hard? That's just reality. That's just where I was. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can tell you, like, this is how this goes. Matt says that his current number for blood sugar is 89 this morning. Good job, Matt. Good job. And what do you attribute that to? You've changed your diet, haven't you? I think that's what you've done. You've changed your diet. Thank you for the follow on TikTok. I so appreciate that because I do like disappear into the algorithm. And also if you guys could like, oh, you guys already are liking. Thank you so much. If you could like and then share, I would really appreciate it. Getting this information out is so insanely important. The truth is that we're being very lied to and we're being very marketed to, and exiting the matrix it's a challenge, right? Because we were raised to very much trust. I mean, go all the way back to the Little House on the Prairie. Doc Baker had all the answers. He had all the answers, and you didn't go against Doc Baker's recommendations. I'm just saying we're very indoctrinated in our, we're about the same age. Most everybody that's on my content, we're all about the same age. I'm 59. And so sometimes we have to undo the things that we've been taught in our minds to go against things. And that can be challenging, right? I mean, it's just what it is. But once we understand that industry has played such a very large role in our demise so that we could be on a cycle that they wanted us to be on, it helps us to go, you know what? Just go buzz off, because I'm not much interested in what your agenda for my life is, what your agenda for my health is. I'm going to create my own agenda. So Matt says, yes, ma'am, I've changed my diet and added herbs to everything. And for sweet cravings, pickled beets. Very good. And turmeric in every meal somewhere, somehow. Good job, Matt. Very, very good. See, I love that. One step at a time, people. One step at a time. I'm telling you. So anyway, so that was literally like a little bit of a session on why massage is really, really good for insulin resistance. If you need any information on the trio, will you reach out to me? Every single day I get off and I go and I answer, like if you're in my inbox on Instagram or my messages on Facebook, I will go and I will answer your questions. Some of you are asking questions. Some of you are asking for the cart that has the 3 supplements inside the cart, just so that it's easy for you. And then, if you want me to add in the turmeric so you can look at that, you can do that too. But help people become their own advocates, just like this guy. For 1 year, and I had no idea, he's been taking the trio and he's gone from 223 down to 184. Like, I had no idea. He's taken on intermittent fasting and he's changing his own world. And sometimes it's hard for us to believe that something can be so simple, but something can be so simple. And you can love the food that you're eating on the other side. Like, I did not have to give up being a foodie. Not at all. If you follow me in my stories, like on Instagram or Facebook, you'll know, because I post the foods that I eat. But we do have another challenge coming up in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, in September. It's a 5-day challenge and it'll be free. I mean, it's always free. It's our 16th one. Don't miss out. This is a track that you can run on and you can get results. And then you can be in a completely different place than everybody else around you when you hit the candy season on October 31st. And when you hit the new year for 2025, your world can be completely different. This is about the same time he started a year ago. Okay. So you can do the exact same thing, and you can like wrap up your August having taken steps instead of only being overwhelmed. Take steps, reach out. Don't self-sabotage. Don't do that. All right. Have a super blessed day, you guys. I love chatting with you, and I will chat with you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bye. See you later.